Hello, everyone. Today we are going to work on past tense forms of the verb to be, which are was and were, as well as on the past tense form of the verb can, which is could. At the beginning, I would like to ask you to open your books, page 66, unit 5.5, exercise 1. Otvorite 66. stranicu, lekcija 5.5, vježba 1, tekst A. Let's take a look at this guy. Do you recognize him? This guy in the photo, in his earlier days. This is Johnny Depp, a famous American actor. That's right. Okay, what do we know about him apart from the fact that he is rich and famous? Let's see. Let's read about his past. Johnny Depp is a famous film star now, but what was he like at school? Was he a good student? School wasn't a good experience for Johnny. The problem was that he was at over 20 different schools and often the students weren't very friendly. So, school was often a lonely place for Johnny. His two favorite things were music and acting. He couldn't play the piano, but he could play the guitar. He could also sing very well, and he was in a band called the Kids. His dream was to be a musician after school. His band was successful, but they couldn't get a record deal. Luckily, Johnny was also a great actor. So now we know more about Johnny Depp and his past, but we are actually interested in the way the past is expressed. These blue forms, blue verbs, was, wasn't, and was. Let's see. These forms are used for first person singular and third person singular. I, he, she, and it to express past tense of the verb to be. Dakle, ovi oblici was i wasn't su zapravo prošlo vrijeme glagola to be, glagola biti. Was he, da li je on bio? School wasn't, škola nije bila za njega neko dobro iskustvo. So, was is the positive form and wasn't is the negative form. The other option, weren't and were, are the forms used for all other persons, the second person singular as well as plural forms. Dakle, oblici were i weren't se koriste za ostala lica, za drugo lice jednine, kao i prvo, drugo i treće lice množine. Students weren't very friendly students. They. Things were music and acting things. They, third person plural. Let's check these two now. Couldn't and could. He couldn't play the piano, but he could play the guitar. Could is the past tense form of the verb can, which is used to express ability, capacity. Dakle, could je prošlo vrijeme glagola can, koji znači moći, umjeti, znati, a odričan oblik je couldn't. Could is used for all persons and always followed by an infinitive. Could se koristi za sva lica u prošlom vremenu, a uvijek je poslije glagola could infinitive. Odričan oblik je couldn't. So let's revise the rules for the use of was and were. Was and wasn't are used for the first person singular and the third person singular. I, he, she, and it. He was at school yesterday. She was at school yesterday. Or I wasn't at school yesterday. It wasn't in school yesterday. For all other persons, we, you, and they, were or weren't is used. We were at the beach last week. You were at the beach last week. They weren't at the beach last week. And for the question forms, we use the same rule for was and were, but the principle of inversion is used. So we invert the subject and was or were. upitne rečenice, upitan oblik dobijamo tako što subjekat i glagol was ili were zamijene mjesta. Dakle, upotrijebimo princip inverzije. Tako da was ili were dolaze na početak. Was he hungry? Yes, he was. No, he wasn't. Was she hungry? Yes, she was. No, she wasn't. Or, were you at the theater last weekend? Yes, we were. No, we weren't. Were they at the theater last weekend? Yes, they were. Or, no, they weren't. Let's see some illustrations to show you the difference between present and past reference of the verb to be. It is sunny today. Present reference. The weather was rainy yesterday. Past reference. The question here would be, was the weather rainy yesterday? And the negative form would be, the weather wasn't rainy yesterday. Dakle, za sadašnje vrijeme glagol to be, treće lice is, prošlo vrijeme was. Another one. He is a teacher now. He was a student 10 years ago. Or, he is a teacher now. Was he a student 10 years ago? He wasn't a student 10 years ago. For questions, a negative reference. One more example. I am slim now. Was I fat when I was young? Yes, I was. I was fat when I was young. Let's get back to the text about Johnny Depp again now. So, we know a lot about him, and our task now is to correct these sentences. Exercise 3, the same page 66 in your books. Dakle, treća vježba u knjigama, 66. stranica, treba da ispravimo ove rečenice o Johnnyju Deppu na osnovu teksta koje smo pročitali. Number 1. School was fun for Johnny. School wasn't fun for Johnny. It wasn't a good experience. Kids weren't really nice to him. Number 2. The other students were always nice. No, the other students weren't very nice. They were often unfriendly. Number 3. Johnny was always happy. Johnny wasn't always happy. He felt lonely very often. Johnny's favorite things were maths and history. Johnny's favorite subjects weren't maths and history. He actually liked music and acting more. Number 5. Johnny couldn't sing well. Johnny could sing well. Number 6. The band wasn't very successful. The band was very successful, but they just couldn't get a record deal. Record deal. Nisu mogli da dobiju ponudu da snime ploču ili disk. Well done. Let's take a look at the text B, the same page 66, exercise 1 in your books. You have to choose between the given options to complete the text about Kristen Stewart. I'll give you a minute to read the text, and then I will play the recording for you to check the answers. Dakle, tekst B na istoj stranici treba popuniti nekim od ponuđenih odgovora. Pogledajte, a onda ćete čuti snimak da provjerite svoje odgovore.
CD2. Track 38.
Kristen Stewart is a famous actress. But when she was younger, things weren't always easy. She wasn't happy at high school because she couldn't talk to other kids her age. They were interested in different things, and so they weren't very friendly to her. They were often jealous because Kristen could act really well.
CD2.
Okay, let's check your answers now. When she was younger, things weren't always easy. She wasn't happy. She couldn't talk to her kids her age. They were interested in different things. They weren't very friendly to her. They were often jealous, ljubomorni. Kristen could act really well. There's another text, text C, the same exercise, the same page. And again, you should complete the text with the forms was, wasn't, were, weren't, or could, couldn't. Again, I'm going to give you a minute to take a look at it and try to do it. And then I will play the recording.
CD 2. Track 39.
Albert Einstein was a very famous scientist. From an early age, he was good at maths and science, and he could play the violin well. But at school, he wasn't good at all subjects. History and geography weren't easy for him, and he wasn't good at foreign languages. But Einstein was a genius, and scientists are still studying his brain to help them understand about intelligence.
Okay, so he was good at maths and science, and he couldn't play the violin well. But at school, he wasn't good at all subjects. History and geography weren't easy for him. He wasn't good at foreign languages. But Einstein was a genius. Well done. For homework, try to think, how would you describe your own education in primary school? How would you talk about the things that were or weren't true for you, the things that you could or couldn't do? Think about it. And do the homework, exercise 2, page 115 in your books. The task is to complete the sentences with was, wasn't, were, weren't, or could, couldn't. Dakle, zadatak za domaći na 115. stranici vježba 2 treba da popunite rečenice jednim od ponuđenih odgovora. Naravno da ih zapišete u sveske. Stay healthy.